Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about the Equal Rights Amendment. The Equal Rights Amendment was first introduced to Congress in 1923 and remained a topic of interest throughout the 20th century. Alright, so I want to start off by giving you guys a couple things to keep in mind as I go through my lecture. First and foremost, it's always important to remember that during the 20th century, more and more women were joining the workforce. So that had a lot of impacts on society, but definitely led to a demand for change and reform in society. It's astonishing to think about how much manpower these women were able to generate to make such a difference to implement the laws that were implemented throughout this century. All right, so what did the Equal Rights Amendment do? So mainly the Equal Rights Amendment focused on equality in the workforce. It really focused on protecting women from bad working conditions or harsh working hours. And required that men and women were to be treated equally in the workforce. The Equal Rights Amendment was really intended to pick out the details and get down to the nit and the grit of what was right and what was wrong. The Equal Rights Amendment was drafted by Alice Paul and introduced to Congress for the first time in 1923. The amendment was finally passed by the U.S. Senate and the House of Representatives in 1972. The amendment was then sent to the states for ratification. The states had 7 years to decide whether or not they would ratify the amendment, and unfortunately, the amendment was 3 states shy of the necessary required number of states needed by 1979. 15 states did not ratify the amendment: Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, Nevada, North Carolina, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Utah, and Virginia. The amendment was not ratified as an amendment of the United States Constitution. Some people may ask, why did the 14th, 15th, and 19th Amendments not provide enough protection or equality to the people? Why was it necessary, in many people's eyes, to have an Equal Rights Amendment in addition? So first, we should go over what the 14th, 15th, and 19th Amendments were. Just as a reminder, the 14th Amendment granted citizenship to all persons born or naturalized in the United States, and that is according to the United States Constitution. The 15th Amendment stated that the right of citizens to vote shall not be denied or abridged on account of race, color, or previous color of servitude. The 19th Amendment granted women the right to vote and is often referred to as women's suffrage. Alice Paul, the suffragist leader who drafted the Equal Rights Amendment, argued that the amendments 14, 15, and 19 would not ultimately end discrimination based on sex, and that the Equal Rights Amendment addressed special protections regarding women in the workforce. Alice Paul was the founder of the National Women's Party. So there were obviously a lot of people who were involved in the equal rights movements during the 20th century. Specifically, when we're talking about women's rights, we are definitely talking about women's organizations who were getting involved. These organizations included the National American Women's Suffrage Association, the National Women's Party, the National Organization for Women, ERA America, which is a pro-ERA advocacy group, along with the League of Women Voters, which is also a pro-ERA advocacy group. These groups of people would protest and fight for what they believed in by going out and lobbying, boycotting, rallying, marching, and picketing. They had signs, they had protests, they had microphones. They did what it took. Although many people continue to support the Equal Rights Amendment and everything that it represents, it has not officially become a part of the United States Constitution. Although it is common to see many advocacy groups out there still representing the cause.